And now, back to the Johnny B. Show. DJ Flacco.
Welcome back to the Johnny B. Show. 102.5 The Bone, it's Real Raw Radio. Every other Monday night is Mixtape Monday here on the show. Live on the wheels tonight, DJ Flacco back in the house. Also, every Monday night at 10 o'clock, we have my guy Rhett Matthew in from the Cannon Fire Podcast. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, Johnny?
Good. Time for another Bucs Break.
Yes, sir, it is.
Be nice if we could have a happy one sometime soon, right?
Yeah, I really hope so. It seems like the Bucs are getting a head start on No-Win November this year.
No-Win November? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it definitely was last year. They pulled one out last week of the month. But, yeah, dude, right now, things are definitely not going the way that we would have hoped, right?
Yeah. I mean, I still feel gross about yesterday. Only because we were 2-3, and it was like all this hope. Like if we could just go over there, beat a team that we already beat, be 3-3 with a bye week. Now we have 2 weeks of just kind of feeling good and having some positivity, going into a very winnable game in Tennessee. We could really turn the second half of the season around pretty fast, and maybe even squeeze out like a wild card berth or something, or even just a 9-7 season and feeling good about it. But then go out to England and look the way we did, and having to wake up so early.
And that's the thing that I think would have made that loss a little worse for me, is if we actually did fulfill our plans to meet up at Fred's Country Kitchen.
I know. I ended up going Saturday. I was too fat to wait for Sunday morning.
Stuffed our face with just ungodly amounts of breakfast food. I don't know if that would have done myself any more favors than the Buccaneers did on Sunday.
No, we would have probably thrown up is what would have happened. It got to one point, if you're following my Instagram, Johnny B. Tampa, by the way, for all you Cannon Fire Podcast listeners, around the midway through third quarter, I just started cooking breakfast burritos in my kitchen. I'm like, I can't watch this. I have it playing about 20 feet away. I can hear if anything's happening. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let the Bucs ruin brunch for me because, the weekend food is a big part of my life. But it's still, even though I was eating delicious food, they ruined my whole Sunday.
It's hard. I try to never let the Bucs ruin my day because, at the end of the day, I look at it. We're both grown men watching a game. But to put so much effort into this, to wake up at 9 in the morning on a day off.
You look forward to it all week.
Right.
And I see your tweets. Like, the Saturday night, you're up super late, and you're always like, can't go to sleep because it's game day.
Yeah.
And
I got a weekly edition of those.
Know.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, nerd, and then the second part of me is like, wait, I'm up reading his tweet. I'm going through the same thing he is. Yeah, so I feel you. I didn't go to bed till like 5 o'clock on Sunday because I was up all Saturday night. I had a comedy show Saturday night that I popped in on. Was out having a good time with friends. By the time I got home, I started watching things on my DVR, and I didn't get to bed till 5 to wake up for that.
Me and my boy Brad went out to the UFC fight night the night before.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, man. That was
nice.
Actually a really, really good time. We had some cool seats. But stayed up pretty late. Went to bed around like 2:30. So a little later than you should have, but definitely not 5. So sorry you had to get yourself up for that. Like, really get yourself up.
It literally affected me the entire day. I went to Hallow Scream last night and several hours after the game, and I was still in a bad mood. I still wanted to punch monsters in the face that walked by me because I was so embarrassed to have an international audience. You're over representing Tampa Bay, and it's just embarrassing. Every time we go to England, we look like trash. But then again, every time we go to anywhere, we look like trash.
They decorated the whole town. They had double-decker Buccaneer buses driving around London.
Yeah.
They had the posters everywhere. They decorated the bars. And like you said, a national audience. And to embarrass yourself like that, it's pretty sad. I mean, everyone's to blame in the loss on Sunday. Don't get me wrong. But, Johnny, we got to talk about Jameis Winston.
Okay.
So 30 for 54, 399 yards passing through
Right.
the air with 1 touchdown. That's fine and dandy until you realize he threw 5 interceptions.
God.
Fumbled the ball twice.
Uh-huh.
And only lost it 1 time. But those 2 fumbles on back-to-back plays where he basically did the same thing both plays.
Look, I know that I've always seemed like a Jameis apologist, and I was very disappointed in how he played a lot yesterday. But you can't discount the fact this guy is playing with a middle school offensive line. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
It pisses me off so bad to watch how bad. This guy never had a pocket yesterday. Never. He was in Hanes sweatpants. No pocket. No pocket at all. Every time he hiked the ball, he couldn't throw a goddamn wide receiver screen. As soon as he hiked the ball, he's getting hit in the face. Literally hit in the face, and Jameis will never get a 15-yard penalty when he gets punched in the face. I don't know why.
First time ever on Sunday, I actually saw a defense playing against the Bucs get a flag for hitting Jameis Winston in the face, even though it was technically a face mask.
I must have been cooking a burrito during that one.
Oh, yeah,
I never see it.
There was one.
Oh, okay.
And they missed like 6 or 7 others.
So here's the thing. Like, do you play Madden?
Yeah.
I play Madden.
It kind of sucks now,
Okay.
man.
It's okay, but if you're ever playing, like, I don't know, some kid that's on the Madden spectrum that's beating you by 40 in the second quarter, you just start slinging the ball all over the field.
Right.
So when Jameis gets down to the point where you can't run the ball, you can't have play action because we're getting our ass kicked so bad, he doesn't have any time to throw. At a certain point, you just start slinging the ball willy-nilly, and that's how a lot of that happens. One interception was from his hand getting hit while he was being completely raped again.
Yes.
Another interception was on 4th and 10 because he was getting sacked and he just had to get rid of the ball. And the other one was at the end of the game, basically almost a Hail Mary to Mike Evans in the end zone. So, I mean, 3 of those were kind of excusable.
But the other 2, and the fact that we've got
They
to
were
say,
bad.
And the fact that we've got to say, let's excuse these 3 interceptions
Right. I
to
know.
focus on these 2. The other 2 were pretty bad. And, after week 1, I said I'm done defending Jameis Winston, and I am. I like the guy. I really want him to do well, Johnny.
Right.
But there's no defending the performance on Sunday, and if you want me honest, he's got 2 more games like that as a Buccaneer before he's out of here.
Wow.
Can they dismiss him like that? This is from someone who doesn't know anything about the game.
Well, here's the issue.
They can not play him, I suppose.
He's a number 1 overall pick. Number 1 overall picks are going to get every opportunity to succeed, even 5 years down the line. Marcus Mariota, who went second in the draft behind Jameis, just got benched for performance for the first time ever today. They announced that he won't be starting for the Tennessee Titans. They're starting Ryan Tannehill, who used to play for the Dolphins. So they're going to give him every opportunity to succeed. You don't want to give up on the number 1 overall pick because that shows failure in the organization
Right.
and the GM and everything else.
Wasn't he like player of the week last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Jameis Winston that can be so infuriating on it is that he's so up and down.
Streaky
He'll
as hell.
play like an all-star for a month straight, and then he'll have a game where he throws 5 interceptions and fumbles the ball twice. And a lot of it's decision-making, and kind of like Johnny said, he didn't have a line, so this dude's running for his life. But at the same time, you got to stop making certain rookie mistakes, and in his case, you just got to choose to throw it away sometimes.
It gets to the point, and if you look at
What does choose to throw it away mean?
throw it out of bounds instead of throwing an interception or taking a sack, you kind of you don't get any yards, but you don't lose any yards, or you
Got
don't
it.
turn the ball over.
It's a safe bet.
Yeah, yesterday we had more turnovers than Alessi's Bakery. If you know what I'm saying, come on, fat joke. Anyway, shout out.
I was laughing. You were like so proud of yourself for that
It
one.
was a shout out to Alessi's. I always try to get free food from them. Anyway, but
I know.
I'm fat.
Hey, that's
know.
a big money deal if Jameis can snag down a sponsorship on one
For
of those
turnovers?
bakeries, bro.
For Arby's turnovers. Oh, it's great. Yeah, we got the meat and the turnovers, and Jameis pops on the screen. Bing
Right.
bong. Look into that, Jameis. Get your team on it. Yeah, here's the thing with Jameis. I think I'm not going to call him stupid because that's what people just say about him. But I think he gets the deer in the headlights look way too much when things aren't going well. I think he is mentally weak when it comes to pressure sometimes. Like when he has a pocket, when things are going well, when the defense is playing lights out, he looks like one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. But when things are going poorly, things go way, way south for Jameis really, really fast.
I agree with you 100%. I see what you're saying. Everything seems like it has to go right in order for Jameis Winston to succeed. And when he can succeed, he does great things. But under pressure, we've never really seen that big moment where he leads the team from behind, all heroic-like, and they win the game in the last 2 minutes.
And that's what the greats do. That's what number one picks are supposed to do. My dad used to have this poem hanging up when I was a kid in our bathroom. But it was just one of those things. And it's like one of these simple little poems he probably bought at a flea market. But it really resonated with me. And I think about it with guys like Jameis Winston. But the poem is, and I memorized it, obviously. I grew up looking at it. It is, and I can't think of the author, but very simple. It says, it's easy enough to be pleasant when life goes by like a song, but the man worthwhile is the man with a smile when everything goes dead wrong. And it just means it's a real test of your fortitude and what kind of man you are when everything is going poorly, and then you shine, right? And that's what I can't see Jameis do.
And that was hung up in the bathroom?
Hell yeah. Maybe my dad has the same kind of bowel problems I do. I don't know.
It's a real testament of a man, Johnny.
Thank you. My dad's a retired college professor. Very brilliant man. Engineering. Very beautiful mind. All right, I probably shouldn't have brought that story up, but it just reminds me. That poem reminds me of Jameis Winston. Damn it. I would, like you said, I would love to see him down by 20, 7 or 8 sacks in, 3 interceptions, and then come back in the fourth quarter and win the game.
So what are they going to do with him? Because it's the final year of his contract.
Yep.
Do you draft a quarterback next year if he just stinks it up the rest of the season or does okay, moderately well? Do you franchise him for 2020? Do you draft a quarterback and bring in some competition?
I think, kind of like what I said earlier, I believe he's got 2 more games like this as a Buck if he wants to stick around. If he can play 2 more games like that tops the rest of the year and be serviceable throughout, they're going to franchise tag him, maybe draft a quarterback late to give him some competition, something to worry about. But if he just stinks the rest of the year, then they're probably going to draft a quarterback.
I think if we lose the next 3 games, we go double tank for Trevor. We try to outdo the Dolphins, see if they can accidentally win
Dolphins
3 games.
Are really bad, man. You saw what they did yesterday. They went for 2 to try to get the win in the fourth quarter.
Let them get Tua this year. We tank, grab the best offensive linemen, right? 2 of them. And then we tank 1 more year, and we get Trevor Lawrence, and then we win the Super Bowl in 2022. Let's go.
It's hard for me to support a team to tank. I really don't want to say that that's the thing. But the game on Sunday in London, don't want to get sidetracked because there's 2 more guys that I'm really pissed off at. One is Vernon Hargreaves III.
Come on, I'm done with him, man.
I mean, I don't understand why the Buccaneers coaching staff hasn't, and maybe they have, I'm not in the building for a reason. But you have to consider moving him inside, dude. Because
they did it last year, and he looked great, and then he got hurt.
Exactly. He's getting beat up on the outside every single week by receivers.
Is there just nobody else on the team that can play the outside corners? Is that the problem?
The guy that everyone brings up to throw in there is Jamel Dean. He's a younger guy. How much at this point?
Why not?
We
got Ryan Smith back. I'd rather throw Ryan Smith in there right now.
Right.
Hargreaves he's starting to give a cushion for no reason. Yesterday he slid and fell on his ass and looked like a moron in front of everybody when he had Christian McCaffrey coming at him.
It was every single play that he was slipping and falling over. I don't understand what the
deal was. You're a millionaire. Buy some good cleats. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not falling down, and I'm morbidly obese and middle class. Why are you falling down at work, dum-dum? It doesn't make sense. You know who's not falling down? Everybody else. And right now, if I'm the Bucs, and I'm not, but if I was, and I know they have to be thinking about this, this morning I saw a report, Patrick Peterson on the trading block for the Arizona Cardinals. We have 2 weeks to get him acclimated to the system. He knows Bowles. He knows Arians. He played for both of them. He doesn't want to play in Arizona. Everybody wants to live in Florida. I mean, what are you talking about? We have no income tax. There's every reason to live here. Go out and get him. Find a way to get Patrick Peterson in. You know what? The hell with it. Get him and Jalen Ramsey in here. I don't care if Jalen Ramsey's a dick. He knows how to intercept balls and cover people. Do
we have the cap
something.
room for that?
Make it. You can make cap room. Every time I hear cap problems, they don't know how to get creative with the cap. The cap is an illusion. Go out and make the room. You can make it work. I don't care. Super Bowl teams make it work every year. We can make it work.
I don't know, man. I remember the way that people reacted when Gerald McCoy showed up to practice in a kimono and did his whole big theatric thing. Could you imagine how Bucs fans reacted when Jalen Ramsey rolls up to training camp in a bank truck like he did in Jacksonville this year?
Yeah.
I don't want a guy like that on my football team.
I don't want him
Johnny.
on my team either, but I also don't want people sliding in the home plate feet first when he's supposed to be tackling somebody. I'm so frustrated with our secondary right now. We're the number one team against the run, hands down. You cannot run on our defense.
Oh, the defensive line and linebackers were great. That was the only bright spot of the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
But
doesn't mean a damn thing when you've got toddlers playing in your secondary.
that's what I'm saying. Every quarterback looks like Joe Montana in his heyday, and that's what they do. These offensive coordinators for the other teams, they're laughing at us. They're like, fine, shut our running back down. We're going to throw over the middle to guys that undrafted third-string receivers are going to look like Jerry Rice on you for the entire second and third quarter, idiot, because we can't cover anybody.
There's one more guy on the Bucs roster that I want to go over who really just let me down on Sunday. You might know who I'm alluding to.
I think it's the same person, yep.
He plays on special teams, number 85, Bobo Wilson Jr.
Bobo.
I'm done with him, too.
Why is this man still returning punts?
He's
Why
Bobo as hell.
is this man on an NFL roster?
He has been a non-factor in the punt return game for the whole season, and the only effect that he had on Sunday lost us the football game.
You know who can return punts better than him? Everybody.
You with your patella issue?
Me, right now. Put me out there. I could probably catch a punt, field a punt better than he can. And it would at least be entertaining, right? If we're going to turn the goddamn ball over, let a 340-pound fat comedian do it, right? Play the Benny Hill music as I'm falling on my ass. At least then the Bucs fans can laugh instead of cry for one play. Bobo Wilson, his name should be Doo-Doo Wilson, because that's what I feel like every time he gets on the field. Doo-Doo.
You know, TJ Logan, the other returner that we have for kickoffs, we brought him in. He's kind of a question mark as well.
Too!
He sucks too, but he can at least catch a punt, Johnny.
He's good on tackling on special teams.
He's all right.
Yeah.
He's all right. Special teams, I'll say this. Ryan Smith had a hell of a day in London. I mean, it doesn't mean anything because we still did lose by 2 possessions, but Ryan Smith coming back really shows how much we missed on that special teams.
He's always
unit.
been a standout on special teams, and I'm okay with him being on the team just for special teams. But Bobo Wilson, I remember on Hard Knocks when he was like kind of a douche on Hard Knocks. But then again, you put a camera in front of a lot of people and they turn that way. I'm just done. I'm done with these marginal players, these bridge players, whatever you want to call them. Just you're either a blue chipper or you're not on an NFL team. It doesn't make sense to me. There's only 53 people on a roster. Everybody that's on a roster should be the best football player from their hometown. They should be one of the best players at the college they went to. If it was a small college, they should have had the stadium named after them if they're playing on an NFL team. But we somehow get garbage.
You know, and it's funny because we're 6 weeks into the season. I don't want to start to question Bruce Arians. He's done some questionable things this season so far, but I feel like we're lacking that accountability factor we thought we'd see, because when guys like Bobo Wilson have a chance to muff the punt not only one time, but 2 times in a row.
By the way, Anna, muff the punt means you messed it up.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you know what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Get it, Tom? I'm sorry, go ahead.
After he muffed that second punt and lost us the game, his ass should have been out of the game.
No, why?
And
I know.
I mean, I don't know why that hasn't been seen. Man, we're going into the bye week. Let me collect my thoughts here. I'm glad that we're going into the bye week, so I have to believe.
What do you want to see different about the Bucs when they come back? Because I have a couple things.
First things first, I want to stop seeing Bucs beating Bucs.
Okay.
We had one instance. We tried to punt the ball 3 separate times, and we couldn't do it because we got a false start penalty, moved us back 5 yards, got another false start penalty, moved us back 5 more yards.
One more penalty, and we
then
were
we
on.
had the audacity
Yeah.
to get one more false start penalty. You know, it would have been less embarrassing if Bruce Arians walked over to Ron Rivera and was like, "Hey, buddy, here's 15 free yards."
Yeah. Or how about we never got to visit London Bridge, so we're trying to go far enough back to where we kick it from the bridge. Wouldn't that be cool if we could do that?
Right.
Yeah. Here's what I want to see. I want to see Bruce Arians take over a little bit more. I think he delegates way too much now. I think he's trying to let all of his coaches shine. He's letting Byron Leftwich do a lot. By the way, live mixing right now. Mixtape Monday in the background, in case you're wondering what the hell is happening out there on the Cannon Fire podcast. Every other Monday on the Johnny B Show is Mixtape Monday. DJ Flacco. I want to see Bruce take over a little bit.
Yeah.
I want old Bruce Arians. I want 2015 Bruce Arians because he's got to feel like it's spiraling a little bit. You know, he's going to want to try to rein it in, I hope, in this next 2 weeks. I'm not saying snatch the playbook from Byron Leftwich, but maybe hold his hand a little bit. I'm not saying Byron Leftwich is doing a bad job, but I feel like if he's the driver of this team, I'd like to see him behind the wheel a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what's going to make him more accountable. And I think it's going to probably wake the team up a little bit more, too.
And a scary thing to think about with Bruce Arians, this guy's not getting any younger. He just turned 67 years old. The way that I look at it, he was brought here for Jason Light because he's, personal friends. He kind of owed him one, and he was brought here to fix Jameis Winston. Well, if the Bucs decide to move on from Jameis Winston this offseason, it kind of leaves us in limbo with Bruce Arians, a guy who was just retired 2 years ago.
But if you draft a guy this year, then Bruce Arians could have his guy and work with a new kid.
For what, 2 more years?
Yeah.
Yeah, he might not want a project that big. He might just walk away. He might just say, you know what, I thought I wanted to coach again, and now I'm just ready to retire.
It's not worth the sunburns in December every
year.
year.
I mean, he's already riding around a cart and stuff. I'm not dogging a guy. Hell, I wish I would have done that at Busch Gardens yesterday. My back's jacked up from walking around for 5 hours. But I don't know. I just, like I said, I need 100% Bruce Arians. That's what I would like to see. Because I think he is one of the best coaches and statistically third best most winning coach in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting 100% Bruce Arians. I think he's delegating too much. I also want to see some accountability with that offensive line and the coaching of the offensive line, because you're talking about inconsistencies. Like, they look like one of the best lines against the Rams, who have a stellar front four.
Who are also 3-3 now, so do with that what you will.
And then the next 2 games were the worst offensive line in the league. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
This last week in London, you go without Alex Kappa and DeMar Dotson. That hurts you. As much as DeMar Dotson has looked like Old Yeller before he got shot, it hurts you to not have those guys. But yeah, you've got to have some accountability, because with guys like Ryan Jensen, Ali Marpet, and Donovan Smith to an extent,
right,
playing good football, if they're not all on the same page, you get what you had against New Orleans and you get what you had in London. And that's just a terrible unit who cannot protect the quarterback.
You know what I'm real happy about is the bye week, so we don't have to predict a winner this week.
Another stress-free Sunday.
Do we have the results from last week, Will? We have those pulled up? Because I think it was the first time I actually picked against the Bucs, and I was right. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm losing confidence in this team. I'm losing give an F. You know what I mean? Like, I'm mad, but at the same time, I'm just I feel like I'm in a bad marriage. I feel like I'm in an abusive marriage. I feel like, and I've been in one, so I'm getting that same kind of vibe. I don't feel like the Bucs are going to ruin my taxes, right? And talk smack about me at my old job. I just feel like I want to quit them sometimes, but I can't. I feel like Brokeback Mountain. I wish I knew how to quit them, but I can't. I'm in a tent with them, and I'm here to stay. Mm-hmm. I want to be proud of them. I want to feel good.
Doesn't this take the pressure off a little bit? Because now, looking into it, you're just like, okay, just don't lose so bad. You know?
No, I want to win. I know that's what
that
Bucs
dream
fans,
is over.
No, Bucs fans have been doing this forever. Where we go, hey man, we played hard this game. Hey, we tried. We almost won. I remember being at a game when you were probably not born, Rhett. This was or barely born. This was in the
40s,
mid 90s. Shut up. We were playing the Joe Montana 49ers, and we were winning. The 49ers drove down. I believe we were winning 16-10. Joe Montana drove down, did a naked bootleg, and walked into the end zone to beat us. And I remember walking out in the parking lot and saying, I'll take that, man. We had the dynasty 49ers beat until the last second. I'm pretty happy with it. How sad is that? I was happy with a loss. And I'm tired of it. I want wins. Wins over everything, right, Rhett?
Yeah. I mean, we're tired of being bad, Johnny. Everyone's tired of being bad, and when you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, there comes a point where you have to settle for the realization that we're going to be bad for a little bit longer. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's not okay by any means. It's hard to sit here and accept that fact because I feel terrible when I go out of town and I rep my team and other people look and they kind of giggle, you know? Because they're like, wow, I didn't know those kind of people existed. It sucks. It's terrible, especially because of the hype that we had this offseason coming into the year. But what can you do? They got 10 more football games to figure it out. We'll see what happens.
Let's go to Tom. Tom, what's up?
Hey, JB, I listen to the Bucs, and usually on the radio, Gene Deckerhoff is like Bob Uecker to me.
Fire the cannons!
And
Sorry.
I love him, but, okay, he messes up. It's funny.
Well, he's
anyway.
old. Yeah.
You also got to forgive the guy this week. He went straight from a college football game, jumped on a plane, and went to London.
And he's 114 years old. A lot of people don't know that about him.
Okay, he messes up. Whatever. I love the guy.
Okay.
I'm a Cowboy fan, and I hate Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
Same thing. I feel your pain, man. They should be better. Okay, they won 3 crappy games.
Hey, Tom, real fast. Have you had anything to drink tonight, pal?
Of course.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Monday, baby.
But,
The Cowboys got beat by the Jets, and he's been hammered since.
Wait, hello?
Oh, yeah. At least the Bucs got beat by a good team. I know. It's got to really suck today for you.
I'm just saying, I think Jason Garrett's got to go, dude.
All right, this isn't I'm sorry, man. We're doing our Cowboy show tomorrow night.
Anyway,
Later, Tom. All right, bye. I can't do it. I tried.
It happens.
Thanks for listening, Tom. Old drunk ass. I wonder if he's calling from Texas. I wonder if he stumbled upon us on like iHeartRadio or something or one of the apps. All right, we got to take a break. Rhett Matthew, tell everybody how they can find your podcast and find you on social media.
Yes, sir. So the podcast, you can follow us Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's all Cannon Fire Podcast. You search it, you'll find us. And then you can follow my personal things.
Yes.
Instagram and Twitter at Redicus. Follow me, and I'll follow you back.
There you go. The Cannon Fire Podcast, I believe 2 podcasts dropped a week.
Yep, 2 podcasts dropped a week, and then a brand new Bucs Break every single Tuesday.
There you go. So find it on all the platforms. Best of the Bay, #1 podcast in Tampa Bay. So tell everybody, I listen to the best podcast. It's crazy. All right, we got to take a break. We come back from this here break, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is already time, Anna.
Time for what?
What the hell news? Believe that?
I do.
What the hell news? We are going to we're going to tell you the first rule in Fight Club. Anna, do you know what that is?
I can't remember.
The first rule in Fight Club is you have to be able to remember the first rule of Fight Club.
Oh, right.
Tell you what that's about when we come back. Don't go anywhere. It's the Johnny B Show.
It's the Johnny B Show on 102.5 The Bone.